Metal Max here at the Crucible, and and it was a fun, awesome metal show tonight, as you will see from the footage that I got of bands such as Vermillion, Mortis Skuld, Cyanosis, and of course the mighty Jungle Rot. But I'm here right now with two of the members of Vermillion, Dave and Kurt. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Hey, you, bro.
Yeah.
So
Doing well.
let's talk about the show tonight. Do you guys think you did a pretty good job performing tonight? Like, what were some good highlights for you?
Well, I think like doing the song for Joe was amazing. You know, just giving a shout out to our friend that passed away, Max and Vermillion.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
It must be very rough.
Yeah, he's a fan of the band ever since we started back in 2009, actually. And this cool dude sat here was passing a week ago, so that made our show that more meaningful to us, and to be jamming about these Jungle Rot, Mortis Skuld, and Cyanosis, you know. We've all been in the scene for 30 years, you know, so it felt good to play on the same stage tonight.
This was the first time that I saw Jungle Rot and Mortis Skuld, and both bands absolutely killed it.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Jungle Rot especially blew me away as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are some of the best old school death metal bands that I've ever heard.
It
was just fantastic to hear them live for the first time.
Oh, for sure, man. My first time seeing them as well, and let's just say I'm happy I got my money's worth. So, now, let's talk. Give us a brief history of Vermillion. Like you mentioned, you guys have been around since 2009. Elaborate on that some more.
Yeah, it's when we formed, 2009. We had our first show in 2010. And from there, just pretty much been at it ever since. Put out some releases, rough demo, rehearsal releases, and put out a self-titled CD, and went through a couple lineup changes here and there. Brooks has been on with us on bass for quite a while, and Dave, our guitar player, and Scott, our drummer, they've been with Vermillion for almost a year and a half now or so. And,
wow.
We were writing some songs, and with the pandemic, and
no better way than to spend some time doing just that, you know.
It seems like the shows are really taking off. People are coming out. They want
Even if it means having to wear the mask when they do it.
Yeah. So it's just like, hey, let's play these shows, kind of keep the name going, and so it's still around. And, what we did in the studio this winter.
Now, Dave, you and I go way back in the day when you were part of the band Pain Tractor.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, we go way back, I tell you.
2005, 2006, 2007,
Yeah.
So my story is I joined Vermillion last summer, and it was one of those things because I played in a band called Ruin Dweller, which is also a death metal.
I see the shirt, by the way.
Yep, repping it, Shout out to them. So I contacted Brooks, and I knew about Kurt. I had not met him, but I was just sort of like, I would love to join the band, or at least try out. So I did, and it worked out very well. And so far we've been doing great. They're all awesome. They're all great musicians. Kurt, obviously, he has a legacy. Playing Corpsicle, playing Vermillion, so it definitely felt like a good fit. Like after the first couple of rehearsals, we matched a lot. So I'm having a great time doing it.
That's awesome.
A lot of all the shows we've been doing recently have been amazing. So
do you think this compares to the previous outfits you've done, like Ruin Dweller and Painkiller, or do you think this tops them all?
I wouldn't say like any of them tops them all. I would say like they're all kind of different flavors of death metal. And, I've been a death metal fan for probably like 2 decades now.
Wow.
And I'm into it all. But one thing about the band that's really very cool is that I've always been to old school death metal. And I think that what Vermillion does is they do this very cool, groovy, kind of slammy, but a lot of homage to like Obituary, but like some of the more modern death metal stuff that came out in like the late 90s and the early 90s. So I feel like I'm able to really like mesh with that because that's kind of like where I came out of, and also it's just, to me it's very cool music.
Now, let's talk about. You guys mentioned that you were like writing some new material during the pandemic. Elaborate on that some more. Tell us what the status is of when we can expect to hear some new Vermillion.
Well, we've got a new one tonight called Very Haunt. We got actually a couple other ones they brought some stuff to the table for us, and in the vein of Vermillion style, and we've been after rehearsing that song, just haven't put, able to squeeze into our set yet. And we got some ideas of some other songs floating around. We talked about maybe digging up some old bone stuff, but it's like, I know, because a lot of stuff is kind of cool to kind of replay some of that, but that's kind of in the past. So we'll go back to that. We just kind of want to focus on the new Biscuit Dave, it's nice to be a 4-piece band with another guitar player because, it really has made this happen, in a full circle.
Awesome.
And Scott, there being a new drummer, and he's in multiple bands too, the guy, I think he's always busy, so.
Hey, we all gotta keep busy, right?
Yeah, man. So it's great.
I think everyone is bringing a lot of their unique style to the table. And so with the new Vermillion songs, you're going to see a lot of kind of evolution from the sound of Vermillion, but you're also going to see a lot of us staying true to what has been established in the past. We're not trying to change the sound. We're just trying to kind of like contribute our own flavor to it.
In other words, you're trying to like improve it.
Improve it, yes.
Okay.
But it wasn't broken before.
Okay. You shouldn't fix anything that's not broken.
That's right. and so we bring our own sort of influence to the table, but it's always keeping in mind like the old school Vermillion. Like the 2015 EP, who was the demo released? Like City of Skulls.
Oh, that was a rehearsal demo that we released. We recorded it with some drop mics on a four track, and our guitar player burned them, and we just handed them out, get our music out there. So yeah, a lot of those songs are, like City of Skulls, there's Mass Extinction,
Wow.
Cosmic Erosion,
Cranial
Deformation. A lot of those songs are some really good songs we have to bring back, But in time we will. Filter a couple of those old ones in, but our main focus is on the new stuff. Our new song with Dave, do some solo stuff with his on there. It just sounds amazing. It's like it fits the song great and what we're doing. He says, he brings his style and flavor of what he does, and it all fits. And I heard a lot of that from people out in the crowd tonight saying, you guys have seen it from back then to now, more improved.
We're definitely finding our rhythm. We're finding
Awesome.
our groove with the members of the band currently, and in my opinion, it's been very awesome. It's been very cool to like play with Kurt and Brooks and Scott, and just we're finding that chemistry.
And a fan decides to crash our little interview.
And you know, I think there's a lot of chemistry with the writing. You know, there's a lot of chemistry with just our styles coming together, and I'm very much looking forward to.
So in other words, everybody contributes.
Yes.
Awesome. That's what most bands. That's what every band should be doing. And the last question I want to ask you guys. Well, this will actually be kind of like a little more of a somber question, but
Some guy needs his ass kicked.
Yep.
one of the Jungle Rock guys.
Ass kicked or whatever, coming back again.
That's true.
A Jungle Rock member just crashed the interview. Hey, I got him in the video somehow. All right. So but getting serious here. Last question. I gotta ask you. You know, the rock and metal world suffered some pretty big losses recently, like Eric Wagner of Trouble and Charlie Watts of the Rolling Stones. My question is, did you ever listen to any of those bands, and how much of an influence did they ever have on you guys?
I mean, immense, really. Like, I mean, Rolling Stones. I grew up listening to Rolling Stones. Like, my dad was a huge Rolling Stones fan, so like that was kind of like a household name for me coming up. Trouble. I mean, obviously they are like one of those bands that took the Black Sabbath sound and they really like evolved it. You know, bands like them, St. Vitus.
Nice.
You know, like God, what's that band? I mean, Candlemass. Yes, Candlemass, of course. Like, I mean, like all these bands.
Don't forget Pentagram.
Oh, well, Pentagram, you know, I do include Pentagram in there. They were a little bit earlier. They were kind of like in the 70s, you know, but also very, very influential. So, I mean, all these bands kind of took. I mean, if you think about like Trouble, like, can you imagine, like, you're a band that is like playing kind of at the same time as all these thrash bands like Metallica, Testament. You're playing like along all these like hair metal bands like Poison and Motley Crue.
Yeah.
And they're kind of this weird thing. They're in between all that shit, you know.
Well, you know, if you think about it, though, I mean, you also had bands like Armored Saint and Saigon Kick, and even earlier Alice in Chains, you know.
Right. So with Trouble, you really can't understate the amount of influence that they had, because you know I was revisiting a lot of the material lately, and I was like, even the '90s album Self-Titled Trouble was produced by Rick Rubin.
Yep.
Rick Rubin produced tons of hip hop. He produced Slayer. He produced
Slipknot.
I mean, like
even Metallica.
Like, he's a household name, and he was working with them. So
don't forget, he also produced Trouble's Manic Frustration, which came out in '92.
Right. So he obviously saw a lot of them, at least enough to be like worth his time, which is
for
very
sure
expensive. I mean, if you really think about it, but I mean,
like what, both like Mike Hall.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
from Metal Church.
Yep.
You know,
wow.
ZZ Top. I mean, that's ZZ Top.
We lost quite a bit of them this year, and even some non-metal people like Ed Asner. So, well, thanks to. Well, I want to. Oh, sorry. Go on.
It's not been a good couple months for rock and metal. I mean, we've had a lot of losses over time, and I mean, that's the kind of thing where it's like, you look back and you're like, these are the people that were doing this shit when it was maybe not as buzzworthy or popular. These are people that were really grinding, and they were doing it when no one else was.
Okay.
So to actually do that and to keep with it, and to keep with it all the way to 2021, I mean, come on, like,
it's a miracle.
Right.
I agree.
That's why we took these shows, you know. I mean, it's like,
hey,
I mean, people were hungry to get out.
Take
them locked up for
take what you can get right now.
Yeah, man. So that's why we're you know, and it feels good because, you know, it's just like we kind of, you know, playing all together live, you know, for first times back in May, and so the crew we got, you know. It's so we're building that up, and it just helped going into the studio too, you know, like hey, we know what we're about on live stage and in the studio too, you know.
That's awesome. Well, Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time out to chat with the Metal Max Cam and me, Metal Max, of course.
Yeah,
you know,
thank you.
it's this, and let's face it, you know, I've wanted to interview you guys for a long time now, but schedules have always conflicted. So I'm glad we were able to get this down tonight and whatnot.
We
And
appreciate it a lot.
and you know, like I said, you know, this is a great moment to behold here. You know, especially since you know you're playing for our promoter dude Randy.
Great guy.
Oh, he sure is.
Hell, Randy, happy birthday to him too. He's 50.
I'll make sure
He's
he's.
actually 100 when he's 50.
Hey, my birthday's later this month, so I'll be 39.
Right on.
Yeah, we're all getting older. It's true.
Yes, we are, and yet we still have a lot of metal in us.
We're not these young bucks anymore, but the spirit is alive.
You got that right. All right, well, you know, I can't wait to hear what you guys bring to the table real soon. Whatever you guys record and come out with, it'll be, I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
Well, stay tuned. We do have a lot of cool stuff in the mix, ready to go to the laboratory to get
All right.
record, mix, master, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know,
You'll see Vermillion 2022, man.
All right. You heard it here first, folks, on AskMetalMax.com. Watch out for these guys. And if you don't come out to any of their shows, well, I don't think I need to tell you what's going to happen. They'll speak for themselves.
Yeah.
All right.
keep it
All
alive.
right.